In video games, bad guys do bad things, and most times the motives behind why they do those things are actually kind of predictable. But when an insane character is introduced into the narrative and displays an unorthodox behavior, those motives become extremely difficult to understand. The player wants to get inside the mind of these maniacs and figure out just how they tick. But even if we probe deeply, the likelihood of finding any tangible evidence of sanity is little to none. Today, we take a look at the top 5 video game psychopaths. Although he should rightfully be number 1, I won't be including the Joker on this list, because the Joker is really a comic book villain adapted into a video game. So, in before complaints. If you thought this guy's name was Sweet Tooth, don't feel too bad, it's a common misconception. This is Marcus Needles Kane, arguably the most psychopathic character from the Twisted Metal franchise. Although his backstory has changed from game to game since 1998, the most maniacal story comes from the latest installment of Twisted Metal in 2012. In this version, the story goes that Marcus Kane is a happily married husband and father, but over time he starts to resent his mundane life and adopts an alter ego by the name of Needles. Needles begins to eat away at Marcus's sanity. Once Needles finally takes over Marcus's mind, he murders his own wife and son. As he approaches his daughter, she manages to stab him in the eye with a pair of scissors and escapes. Now Needles wanders the earth looking for the one that got away, killing many more innocent people in his travels. His only motivation for his murderous rampage is to find and kill his own daughter. This guy is totally creepy.
This time, I'm going to make her bleed.
It's crazy how you're not even the main antagonist and you end up on the cover of a game. Voss Montenegro was a side boss on Far Cry 3, but he was so out of control insane that he had to make this list. Ubisoft created the character after Michael Mondo totally kills it in his audition for the game. The villain is prone to mood swings and murder. He can go from polite and courteous to off the rocker in a matter of seconds. This foul-mouthed, drug-addicted pirate keeps you on edge every time he's on the screen, because you have no idea when he will catapult into a violent rage. Hey, straight up, this dude crazy. And I don't mean in a man you crazy kind of way, I mean the why did you torture and kill McLovin kind of crazy. When I was playing this game, every time Voss came on the screen, I got a cold chill up my back. Freaky stuff, man. In Telltale's game The Walking Dead, you meet some crazy characters, but none are more insane than the St. John family. The main characters take refuge on a dairy farm. The farm has food, shelter, and a nice big wall to keep the walkers out. Everything seems to be peachy keen, but as always, things are too good to be true. One of the main characters, Lee, becomes suspicious when his friend Mark ends up missing. When Lee explores the farm, he stumbles upon a locked door behind a barn. You know, locked doors in this series is an extreme red flag. Once the door is pried open, to Lee's surprise, he finds a bloody, horrendous slaughterhouse. One of the St. John's explains that this is where they house the animals that they've slaughtered, but of course, Lee doesn't believe that. Unsatisfied with the explanation, Lee goes searching around in the St. John household and finds the missing team member, Mark. Upon further examination, Mark is missing both legs. Putting 2 and 2 together, Lee realizes that the St. John's are indeed cannibals, and Mark's leg is on the dinner table waiting for the group to take a big bite. You know, surviving a zombie apocalypse is one thing, but you'd have to be outright deranged to resort to eating human flesh. Disgusting.
He would have died anyway. We gotta think about living.
No list like this can be complete without the inclusion of good old Trevor Phillips. We all remember where we were when the various trailers for Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, but our eyes widened when we learned that one of the protagonists, or antagonists, liked to bash skulls with baseball bats and run around a city wearing nothing but Timberlands and tighty-whities. Trevor's claim to insanity is abandonment issues, but even that can't explain how you could murder a couple in a condo after asking them to marry you. Trevor is a completely irrational individual that has no empathy for human life whatsoever. Within the first 3 minutes of meeting Trevor in the game, he stomps a guy's head until he dies, and then he tells the dead man to get up. One thing that still bothers me about replaying this game is when you have to play as Trevor to torture a guy to get information. We're made to do some very sick things with those pliers. Although Trevor acts like he lives on noble principles, he's an impetuous, vengeful, unpredictable homicidal maniac that's prone to violent outbursts and destructive rampages. Whenever you can jump on a bike wearing nothing but underwear to chase down a fitness freak, you're batshit crazy. Look, another clown on the list. Kefka Palazzo is the main antagonist of Final Fantasy VI. He's loud, boisterous, colorful, and loves to laugh. You know, like any other fun-loving clown would be. Oh, but did I forget to mention that he's deeply unhinged from reality? Yeah. After inheriting powerful magical abilities, his already broken mind is altered for the worse. Kefka has a sociopathic hatred for everything in existence. No, seriously, this dude wants to destroy everything in the world. And at one point, he manages to cause a global apocalypse where he is the supreme ruler. He's a maniacal, short-tempered, flamboyant, destructive, and cruel psychopath. He has no regard for human life and has no remorse for the atrocities he commits. Kefka lets out a spine-chilling cackle as he revels in the suffering of others.
Destruction isn't supposed to make sense.
Sounds like a nice guy. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Go ahead and sound off in the comment section below about what your list would look like. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Top 5.